Woo, that beat was hot. Did you hear that? Did you hear the countdown?
Yeah, it was dope. I was like, okay, what we got going on here?
Oh yeah, that's a new countdown that I created, and I want to do something different because sometimes streamer have this default one and I don't like it. But man, that beat goes. So I wish I can get the rest of it. All right, y'all, what's going on? How you doing?
I'm
This is
good.
Yeah, we got Jessica Bassett on. Okay, I'm saying it long like that because on one of the promos I put one T instead of two. So um, we are here in Telly, y'all, and then this is the finale of Women in Business, right? And first and foremost, I just want to thank you guys for tuning in. We are on Facebook Live and we are on YouTube. All right. Another thing is I have these Tell It shirts, if you can see. All right. So there it is. All right. So I've been pushing up for a little bit, but the deadline for you to order one is April 10th. So go ahead, inbox me. This is how you do it. Inbox me your style, the style shirt you want, because I have this one and I have the, let me get myself together, my long sleeve black one. So whichever one you want, inbox me, Herbazil Smyer, and let me know the size and style you want. And it's $25. And what you'll be doing is supporting people who want to share their story, because the tagline is "There is hope in your story." But that's what we're going to do tonight, because Jessica has a story to tell. But before she does it, I want you guys to go and share, heart it up. Make sure, for real, this one, make sure that you tag as many people as you can. All right, share as much as you can, because I think her story is going to impact and encourage many, many. And brothers, please come on. This is definitely tailored towards our women, but come on and support. And if you know of someone that could benefit from her expertise, from her story, I need you to share that. All right. Also, we have some free giveaways tonight, so you need to stay on and see how you can win that. Okay, and she look, she's ready to share right now. She just
I'm
ready.
like trying to give away the gift already. So
Don't nope. Well, show them what you're giving away.
all right. So somebody is going to get one of the workbooks. They're the same, but they are different covers. One is more girly, and then the other is more gender neutral, I guess.
Okay.
And I'm sorry, y'all. I'm like trying to figure out the camera situation, but yeah, somebody's gonna get a workbook. So we're gonna talk about it a little bit later.
There you go. There you go. So y'all, tune in. You don't want to leave. Don't want to go away. Also, if you haven't figured out by now, if you have a smart TV, you could definitely shoot this onto your TV. So there should be a square with the signal in the box. Go ahead and hit that, and then select your TV. You can put this on TV, so you don't have to walk around with your phone and stay on that way. But other than that, y'all, welcome, welcome, welcome. How you feeling, Jess? Can I call you Jess?
I'm doing good. Just a typical day in Houston, humid, hot. It's still nice outside, so I'm
I
doing
bet it
good.
is. I bet it is. We finally had our nice weather. Had our 70. We had some nice string of weather, nice 77, 76. Y'all
After
don't
the
know.
snow, right? After the
Yeah,
snow.
after the snow. But I'm in Illinois, so if y'all who don't know. Um, yes, so listen, this is how it's gonna happen, y'all. Okay. First and foremost, I hope you guys did share, right? Secondly, I hope you guys did check out the shirt. Thirdly, we're gonna hit Jessica up with some rapid fire questions, okay? Because before we get started on any serious talk, inspiring talk, we need to know who this person is. So, I got some right here. So you don't know what they are, but you just got to answer them right off the top of the dome, and
Okay.
so people could get a chance to know who you are, the fun side. And if you're ready, we can get started.
I'm ready. Let's go.
All right, y'all. Rapid fire question time, and then we get into business. Here we go. Are you an introvert or extrovert?
Introvert.
Denzel or Eddie Murphy?
Both. Can we choose two? Both.
Yeah. I guess so.
I mean, it depends. How can you compare Training Day and Coming
Mm.
to America? Like, you can't choose.
I should have said 80s or 90s Eddie Murphy and
Oh,
Denzel,
okay.
because
We talking about old school Eddie Murphy.
yeah, because his new stuff, more
Yeah. So
kid
okay, so
friendly.
we'll go with Denzel because he's just always dope. So
He's
yeah,
always dope. I've never seen a bad movie from him. All right, here we go. Prince or Michael Jackson?
I'm gonna say Prince because my auntie is watching,
Oh, okay. You're gonna say Prince
and
because
he's a
auntie went.
musical genius. So we're
Okay.
going with Prince.
Mm-hmm. All right. Kirk Franklin, Ty Tribbett. Which one are you going with?
Kirk Franklin. You cannot go against Kirk Franklin and Family or whichever one that was back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
Was that
Yeah,
one?
absolutely. All right. Are you a night owl or are you an early riser?
A night owl.
So you stay up to like 1, 12.
Yeah, I'm up to like 3 o'clock in the morning.
Ooh-wee.
But then I pop up for 7 a.m. to take Jaden to school. So I'm probably a little bit of both.
It ain't caught up with you yet?
Nah.
Oh man. All right. All right. Preferred sport to watch. What you got?
Football.
Football. Okay. All right. I was about to take you for basketball, but okay. Got football.
Football.
All right. Favorite dessert?
Blueberry cheesecake from Nations.
That's very specific. Now, here's the thing: Houston don't have a Nations, right? So they don't know nothing about Nations. If y'all don't know, Nations is better than In-N-Out. So,
of course.
So shut all that down. All right. Here we go. Saved by the Bell or Full House?
Saved by the Bell.
You sure?
Well, because really, I didn't really watch a lot of either one of them.
Oh, okay.
Full House because it's the Bay Area.
Okay, all right, Full House. There you go. All right, favorite card game?
Spades.
I knew he was gonna. Oh, spades.
What blackjack? These questions are hard.
No, they're not.
Yes, they are. I can't think of one.
Oh, so spades are who's that? Precious, what you talking about? All right, here we go. She over here. All right. Favorite holiday.
Favorite holiday. Probably Thanksgiving.
Yep, absolutely. All right, and last but not least, here we go. You ready for this one?
Yeah.
I have to think about this for a little bit. Jodeci or Drew Hill?
Oh man. Drew Hill.
There you go. I would say Jodeci though, but
I mean I like Jodeci as well, but I'm thinking off the songs that I can just sing right away. Mm-hmm. So I'll probably say Drew Hill.
What song do you know right off the top? Which one? Drew Hill.
Well, this is so funny because
name one.
A Drew Hill song. This was Cisco. I'm thinking about Dumps and what's the one where he was walking on the women?
Thong song?
Yeah, thong.
Oh my goodness.
You said Drew Hill, that's the visual that I got. That's why this is rapid fire, right? It's the first thing that comes to your mind.
Yeah. Hold on. Someone said it's not working on Facebook. Let me something's happening. Okay. It happened again. All right. So here we are, Facebook. I don't know. See, when I'm dealing with StreamYard, and I'm sorry y'all just missed rapid fire, she chose Drew Hill over Jodeci. She chose, I think you chose Eddie Murphy at first over Denzel, didn't you?
Yeah, but I was thinking old school Eddie Murphy.
Okay. She went with Denzel. She went with Kirk Franklin as over Ty Tribbett. She is a night owl. Her preferred sport to watch is football. Her favorite dessert, he said, blueberry cheesecake from Nations.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And for y'all who don't know what Nations is, that is only in the Bay Area. You can only get it there. And that's why it is exclusive and better than In-N-Out. She went with Full House over Saved by the Bell because it's the Bay Area. And her favorite card game is spades and blackjack. Right. So she hang out with some old heads. And and I think I covered everything.
Yeah.
But sorry, welcome y'all from Facebook. My bad. StreamYard switched the privacy settings and it took you guys out of the picture. But you're here because I saw the number count go up. So welcome to Tell It. This is, if you noticed, we're on a Wednesday because I have gotten busy this week, and so I had to switch it from Friday to a Wednesday. But it seemed like it doesn't matter because people are hopping on. Thank you for your support. Also, the Tell It shirts. Go ahead and inbox me your style, your size, and what I mean by style. I also have the black long sleeve. Okay, I don't know if you can see that, but I have the black long sleeve, and as you can see, what I have on the gray short sleeve. So go ahead and inbox Herbert Zilsmeyer. It's $25, and you'll be supporting people's voice, pretty much giving people the opportunity and a chance to tell their story and share their story. And if you guys don't know, I have Miss Jessica Bassett on, and she has something to share for sure. If you don't know, you can go ahead and follow her on her IG account J dot Danielle underscore. Is that right?
It's 2 underscores.
Yeah.
J. Danielle.
It's 2 of them.
Yeah.
Is that why your underscores are so long?
Yeah. Okay, guys, it's 2 underscores J. Danielle, 2 underscores.
Watch
Okay, so
this.
follow me on Instagram.
Watch this. Watch this. Watch this right now. 2.
You gonna fix it?
Yep. Is there another one right there? Bang.
I can't see it.
It's about to be seen.
There we go. Okay, y'all can follow me now.
There you go. All right, so go ahead and follow her IG. She does awesome and amazing Clubhouse interviews, right? So go ahead and follow her on Club. What's your Clubhouse name?
Clubhouse is at Jessie Oakland, Jessie with the Y, so it's JESSY.
Okay, I don't have that. All right. All right, and then again, we're giving away free. So if you guys did not know, or as you do know, Tell It always give away free stuff. And she has her book. Tell us what the book is about. Or not what's about. What's the title, rather?
The title is 4 Steps to Defining Your Success. We have the girly one. And sorry, y'all, I'm still not used to the camera. I don't know where to put it.
There. There you go.
We have this one as well. So
okay.
We'll talk about it a little bit later.
All right, but your later is right now.
Oh,
because
okay.
yeah, because I'm gonna give you your 1 minute to highlight this business in your book and what it's about, and then I'll obviously, as we get on later on in the show, you can definitely tell us what it's been doing and what you're planning on doing with it. But give us a little highlight about this book.
In this workbook is literally everything that I did in order to become successful. So I literally stopped what I was doing, sat down and thought about all the steps that I have taken. People ask me a lot of questions all the time. And so I compiled it into a workbook. This is very near to my heart because I didn't use a template. I literally built this out from a blank page. So everything you see, I did myself.
Wow.
So the different parts of it is dream, create, repeat, operate with excellence, business or side hustle, and how I made $25,000 in a month.
What?
And so it is like really cute, y'all. And I promise y'all, it will not disappoint. So yeah, it's dope. Like literally, I talk about my story here. Then I give you practical application. And then I also built out like exercises that you can do that I've done myself, give you some quotes. So like this is some of the exercises here. It's really dope. Like I'm excited for y'all to get your hands on this. It's a lot of information in it. It's priceless, it's timeless. And it doesn't have to be for somebody who wants to be an entrepreneur. This is success, right? You are defining your success yourself, which it doesn't look the same for everybody. And so that's kind of what I talk about, give a lot about my story, little tidbits, because my testimony is pretty weighted, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
And so I'll be coming out with more. You can always go to definemysuccess.com and pick it up. Everything will ship out on May the 1st. So yeah, I'm excited. I'll probably do a combination, or I guess a package where you get multiple workbooks, but this was the first one. And I'm excited about it.
Well put. Well put. Now we got Ashley over here asking all these questions. All
Oh,
right.
good. Well, I can't see the comments. So what is
All
she
right.
saying?
So first, here's your quick. Can you see that question? Can youth understand or benefit?
Yes. So actually, any age. My friend, shout out to my cupcakes, they're watching. And Precious too, she watching. But she got it and thought it would be good for her daughter.
Okay.
Um, I think her daughter is like 12-ish around there. And upcoming, I will be doing a workshop with the junior college with Laney, hopefully soon. And they won't be 35; they'll be like early 20s. So I don't think it matters the age. It's very
Mm,
it's easy to understand, so anybody could
okay.
get the
All right.
information.
And I guess her next question. Now I'm not sure who's this to because I don't know what part you came on, but how much? I don't know if you're talking about the book. If you are, hold up because we got
Yeah,
we
we
got
haven't
some
said that
deals.
part yet.
Yeah, we got some coming on. So I would love for you guys to hear her story first because what I believe is you're never buying someone's product, right? You're not just buying the product, but you're pretty much buying them. You're buying who they are in their story.
Yeah, you
So
have
I
to
want you
touch
guys,
yourself.
yeah, I want y'all to hear it first, okay? And then I want you guys to talk about buying it. All right. And then also need a lot of y'all to hang on to see how you can enter in to get these free workbooks. Because as she just said, it benefits the youth too. So it's not just for the adults, it's not just for the entrepreneur. It is for anyone who
And
wants
if
success,
you're
right?
older too. And if you're older, like obtaining your idea of success does
Yeah.
not have an age limit. If you are in your 50s and you don't know if you are successful in your own right, then you need the workbook too.
There you go. There you go. So let's get started, right? Because what I try to do on Tell It is I try to get people from different background to share their story because I mean, what do you know? I mean, everyone has a different background, but there's always someone you can reach with your story because they're probably going through the same thing. If not, they're in it or they have gone out of it and need help on what to do next. So the floor is yours, and I must warn you guys, or not warn you. I want to just put it out there that this may be a little heavy. Okay, so if this triggers anything in anyone, you feel free to step back, step out, and then come back. But I believe this will help many of women today. So without further ado, I'm handing the stage to you,
Okay.
boss.
I don't really know where to start though.
All right, here's a
Give me
question.
a question and
I
then I
got you.
can keep going.
So, what got you started with having an entrepreneurial mind? How did you even get to that point to where striking out on your own was the best idea for you?
Okay, perfect.
All right.
So it was a combination of things. First thing is I never kept a job for longer than maybe about 2 years. Um, I thought, well, it must be something wrong with me, right? Everybody I know, they've
Mm-hmm.
been on their job for 5 years, 10 years, a longer span of time. But after about a year, I would just get irritated with
Mm-hmm.
people telling me what to do. I got to clock in. I have to come to work when you tell me to come to work. I have to do what you tell me to do. That just wasn't for me. However, I didn't know that yet, right? So I would always stay at a job 2 years because back in the day, they would tell you that you need to be at a job at least 2 years before you think of going somewhere else. It's not like now when they say, oh, you could just leave a job, they'll find somebody else, or 6 months just so
Mm-hmm.
sever the tie in a bad way. But back then it was 2 years. And so I would always just stay 2 years and just realize it just wasn't working. I'm like, these jobs are decent organizations, decent companies, but it just wasn't working out. So I couldn't really figure out what I needed to do. I just knew it just wasn't working. But simultaneously, I was in a domestic violence situation, right? So I don't really know how deep we want to get into that. And but I guess a shorter version of that is I was in a situation with my son's father, and it wasn't ideal, physically speaking.
Mm-hmm.
Which is kind of ironic because he was never verbally abusive. Always spoke highly of me, but when we would get home, it would be like physical
Mm.
abuse. And it wasn't every day, but it was more often than not, which was already one time too many, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I was going through this situation, and literally, like, the last time was the last time. And I literally had this apartment with all these belongings inside, and I got kicked out of my own house.
Mm.
That's a whole nother conversation, right? Like, I literally got kicked out of my own house. And just to speed the story up, we had like this emergency court date or whatever. And the judge looks at me and he says, well, if you want him to leave, I can put him out, or you can find somewhere else to stay. At that time, something like clicked in my head that the only way that somebody can never take something from you is
Mm.
your own, right? So at the same time, it's like, okay, I'm working for other people, that's not working. But if they wanted to fire me, they could, because guess what? They hold all the power. So at
Right.
that moment, it was like, if it's in my control, I would never let somebody be able to take anything else from me. So I decided, like, okay, you got to get on it. Like, you have to literally create your own path and figure out what it is that you want to do, that will set you up to be in a position to where nobody can control your life. So
Right.
I had all these different stuff going on, right? But it was controlled from all angles. It was controlled from corporate America. It was controlled because, this man thought he had the power of my life, and I didn't know if I was coming or going. So that's
Mm.
kind of how it clicked. That's how it
Oh,
started.
okay. All right. That's how I started. So no one don't tell it. Um, Here's the thing: you have the freedom to express however deep you want to go. Because again, there may be somebody here listening that may help. So again, I always tell my guests, you can go as deep as you want to go. I'm not going to force you to do anything, but I say all that to say you don't have to speed through, because we got time. We got time.
I haven't even looked at the time, but I guess we do got a few minutes.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah. We do. So I do have a question.
okay.
So with the domestic violence, was there a point to where you feel like you couldn't escape, or you feel like this was just going to be your life?
Yeah, of course. So everybody says when they're not in the situation, right? It could never be me, right?
Mm.
I would never, first time I walk straight out the door, but it's really just not that simple. First of all, the act of the domestic violence, whether it is verbal or physical, it wears on your self-esteem, right? So
Mm-hmm.
you become this person who you are not, right? So everybody knows me to be very outgoing and strong
Mm-hmm.
and all of these things. But I was all of that and went home and was none of that, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when you're
Right.
in a situation, your first thing is you're one shocked that somebody could even do these things to you, right? Look, well, you guys can't really see, but I'm like really small and petite. He's like 6'2" or 6'3" or something. This is a fairly big, well, bigger than me type guy, right? So one, you are afraid for your life, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because they're threatening you, like, if you do this, then I'm going to do this, right?
Mm.
And I have like this whole baby, right? So it's like, okay, like, he can find me, right? And then you don't want to put anybody else in danger, because if this person is literally in a state to where they can do this to somebody else, they can do it to somebody trying to save you as well. You see a lot of times that people try to save somebody else and something happens to them in addition, right? And then you're too embarrassed, I guess, right?
Mm.
Because people, they see me and they're just like, oh, like, it's so put together. Well,
Yeah.
I've always looked like this. Literally, my face has never changed, right?
Yeah.
So you guys saw me at church on Sundays, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And I was, can't really put it in the words I would want for, respect out of my mom, but stuff was happening when I got home,
Mm-hmm.
right? You see me, you look at me like, oh, okay, she's ambitious, right? But stuff was happening when I got home. So you're embarrassed, your self-esteem is not what it was before you met this
Mm.
person. And then you just feel somewhat trapped, right? You feel like, well, how do I get out of this? For the longest time, I didn't work, right? Because he paid all the bills. He worked
Mm.
2 and 3 jobs, had great jobs. The bills were paid. We had all the newest everything, so we looked good. Jaden looked good. We had the newest cars. You know, back in the days when we had scrapers, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we
Yeah.
had like 15s in the trunk. You know, like we had all this stuff,
You
right?
didn't put no whistle tips on it, did you?
No,
Okay, good,
no
good.
whistle tips.
Good, good. All right, all right.
But we was ghetto, you know what I'm saying? Like we ride down the street listening to Rick Ross when he first came out, right? So this was years ago, right? I'm not that ghetto anymore, y'all. I listen to gospel music, but this was me back then, right?
Right, right.
So we had everything people would, I guess, deem successful at 18 and 19. We had an apartment. It was a 2-bedroom. Like we, Lynette say scraper. That's an Oakland thing.
That's definitely an Oakland thing.
Yeah, because in Houston they call them slabs. But yeah, so like we had everything, right? But the catch was not only was it physical abuse, it was a lot of, I guess you would call it infidelity. We wasn't married, so we was shacking. He was cheating, is what it was.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was like literally just breaking me down. Like I just didn't know who I was. And people say like, "Oh, you would just get out. Where you gonna go? You don't have no money. You don't have no job, and you got a whole baby. And then you gotta go tell your parents like, oh yeah, the person who I shouldn't have been with, this is what he's doing. Can I come back home? That's embarrassing."
Mm-hmm. And then at the time, did you think, like, even if you went home and said that, did you think somebody may try something or try to go get them and then you put them in danger? Like, how did you feel on the flip side of that too?
I mean, of course, you have people who support you. And who get angry enough to want to retaliate. But I don't really think that was my main concern. I think my main concern was just my personal well-being. And I just, I'm non-confrontational. I'm nice to everybody, like I just be chilling. So, this is a lot to be going through for somebody who just really be chilling. Like I would just go to school. I didn't really do much. But I don't really know what the triggers were either. So I can't really, I only can tell it from my side of the story. But it was an interesting experience. I'll say that. And it lasted for a little while.
For a while. So, I mean, when you think about that, because like you said, a lot of people's like, they say, if that happened to me, I would have. If that happened to me, I would have. Like, how did that make you feel? Like, did somebody actually like say that to you, or did nobody know about this?
No, I mean, there were only a couple people who knew during what was going on, right?
Yeah.
Unfortunately, the people closest to the both of us, or that knew what was going on, knew that it had happened previously with other young ladies. I personally didn't know any of that. So, I mean, you kind of find out stuff when you find out stuff, but not too many people knew. Now, after the fact, people would say, well, why didn't you do this? But then I come from the standpoint of, and I know this is probably a whole nother conversation, but the stuff people go through in their relationships in general and that they settle for or endure or what have you, I'm just like, please don't come to me asking me how I did and why I did what I did. When you're in the midst of it, you do what you think is best when you are in the midst of it. Now, when you get the strength and the urge to change your situation, the effort is what you need. It was hard to get to the point to where I needed to put in the effort no matter what to remove myself, So I think people, they say things, but it's like, okay, well, when you're going through stuff, you really don't know how it's going to affect you and how you're going to react and you're going to move forward.
Exactly. And that's the thing. Like, when you are in the middle of it, you're just trying to do what's best and figure out how to take care of your son or your child, or you're trying to figure out, what is the next move? Can I make this move? Should I make this move? So what was the turning point? Because obviously you're out of it now. What was the turning point that got you out?
Okay, so and this is going to be a transparent moment. So at the time, I had an apartment. Technically, He was sleeping on my couch. We weren't together, anything like that. But he found out that I had been talking to this other guy. I really liked this guy at the time too. I'm not gonna lie. I was like really into this guy.
Uh-huh.
And someone had told him about, my interactions with this guy. And so that night, like it literally was probably the worst times that I've experienced without going into detail because it is pretty graphic. So all I remember is my prayer was this at the time. There's two ways I can get out of this, right? Because God, you're going to give me a way of escape, but it's only going to come two ways. Either you're going to have to let this man kill me because I can't take this no more, or you're going to allow me to get out of this house. And if I get out of this house, I'm not looking back. But I was literally at rock bottom at this point. So literally, and I know my mom is watching, but this is literally what I thought. This is what I was praying. This is the thoughts that were in my head. He got to do something. So you're going to either let this man take me out of here because my son is crying, my son is experiencing this, or I'm going to get out of this house. In some kind of way, he put me out my own house. Took my phone, broke it, took my car keys, kept my baby because he was young. He was like 4 at the time. Locked the door. I was literally in probably like some pajamas. This ain't the first time he didn't put me out of my house, but like this time it was like bad. And he put me out. I'm literally walking down the street. It had to have been like 12 or 1 o'clock in the morning. It was late. I'm walking down the street with nothing but like a little shirt and probably like some little sweatpants. And I was walking down, not Coolidge. I don't know the next street over.
I'm trying to think, and I ain't been there in like 8 years.
Yeah, so it was like one street over from Coolidge. But anyway, I'm walking down the street and I make it to a gas station, right? And I'm like knocking on the window, and the gas attendant, he would not let me in. And so this black guy was pumping his gas, and he says, "Did somebody just like put their hands on you? Do we need to go back to your house?" Fruitvale. I think it was Fruitvale. Thank you, Sister Mia. So it had to have been Fruitvale. So I'm like, go back to my house. I'm never going back there. So he tells the gas attendant, like, you need to let her in so she can call the police. But in the meantime, as I was walking, I saw a police officer, and I'm like trying to flag him down, and he keeps on driving. And I'm like, OPD, like, really? You see me? I'm not selling nothing. You see me literally looking a mess, right? And he literally didn't stop. So because of the black guy, the gas attendant allows me to use the phone. I called a family member. They came and picked me up, took me straight to my mama's house and said, we calling the police. And that was the last time, literally.
Wow. So then that was it. That was your escape, man.
It was it. Because the thing is, and I ain't on here to preach, right?
No, go ahead.
For those of you who do not grow up in church, we're always taught that God will give you the ways of escape, right? But the thing is, we don't take them when he give them to us, right?
That's right.
So he's going to either remove you and it's going to hurt, or you're going to do it on your free will. And more often than not, we don't do it on our free will. We wait until it's that much more painful for us to have to work through what it is. So that was the last time I got the emergency restraining order and all that stuff. I don't think we saw Jaden for like 2 weeks. And then it was just an interesting another 5 to 6 years of a custody battle. So it's been a pretty long journey. But I will say at this point in life, I think he is moving into a different space in life as far as trying to be a better co-parent. But, so much has transpired over the last 16 years. Jaden got 2 more years and he going to college. So I'm just like, okay, I think I've done a good job overcoming some things thus far.
Absolutely. No, absolutely, absolutely. Um, wow, that is crazy. That's crazy. And so here's the deal. If you guys don't know, some of you may know here, but I've known Jessica for um many years. When we go back, when did I start going to GWC?
I don't know. It's so long ago because I've been here 7
Yeah,
years, so that was a long time
I
ago.
think I started like 2003 or something like that. But again, like you never know what's happening. Like, and that's something to think about. That you never know what people are going through. You never know what's going on in their life. And so I'm thinking about how you treat people. I'm thinking about, how do you, handle them if they don't talk to you or whatever. You never know what's going on in their life. And so thank God that you made it out alive, because too often many don't. And so, and that's just real. And too often is happening way too often. And actually, I mean, obviously, since the shutdown, it has gone up because you're around that person
Or
constantly,
you have no excuse
constantly.
for the people who are not working or
Yeah,
going to school or what have you. So
definitely, definitely. So, all right, you out now, right? And you said, there was a custody battle going on. How did you begin to pick up the pieces? What was your first steps to say, what, I gotta do this on my own now. This is what it is. I've been in that relationship, that toxic relationship for so long. How did you, start again?
well, the first couple of years there was no picking up the pieces. It was
Mm,
literally learning how to just be okay for one, right? Because mentally, you're just not okay, right? And I
mm,
did therapy because I was like, I'm okay,
yeah.
right? Now that I think about it, my interactions with relationships as a whole, whether it be just friendships or whether it be, a man or whoever, just relationships as a whole have been shaped and molded in such a way that experiences from that situation have kind of like been taken into these other relationships, right?
Yeah.
So I'm literally just trying to manage on being okay when you're not okay, right? Because you have to smile, you have to take
Mm-hmm.
care of your kids if you have kids, you have to go to work, you have to go to school, you have to do all these things. So when they say you don't look like what you've been through, like the outside shell is one thing, but mentally you're just trying to be okay. So even though I lived on my own, because I went to my sister's house for a
Mm-hmm.
weeks. Then I went to my mom's house for a little bit. But I like my space. So I had to give me an apartment. I had to figure that out. So
Right.
I got a place and literally it's like you always looking over your shoulder. Like, is he gonna pop up here? Or,
Yeah.
you're going somewhere and Oakland is small. Is he going to be in the same place that I'm at because this
Mm,
restaurant is popular? Like you literally, it's like almost when people like you see in the movies and they move somewhere and they have like these new identities, but they're
right.
always somebody gonna figure me out. Like I literally was just trying to be okay because I live by myself. Like, what's gonna happen if he popped up here? We had a few instances, but they didn't turn into the previous situations.
Right.
Thank God, because that would have been just like too much. But literally, the first couple of years, I'm just trying to be okay. But then after that, I think you go into like a survival mode. So you don't really think about picking up the pieces. It's just I have to do what I have to do. So now I'm a single mom with no help. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying? Like what?
Yep.
No help. Listen, I didn't start this journey as a single mom. He was an awesome father back then. So I'm like, how I gotta do this by myself? My grandma was like super old, like helping me take Jay to school, picking him up.
Mm,
Like he was sitting in the classroom until she came and picked him up to take him to my mom while I was in undergrad. Like it was just survival mode, right? So now that I'm in a place to where I can think about the steps that I've taken, I talk about this in the workbook. You literally have to think about the end goal first.
yeah.
There's no way that you can outline the steps that you need to take in order to get to the end goal if you don't know what it is. So a lot of people literally you see them doing stuff like the hamster wheel, right?
Right.
You never get nothing done because you're doing this, you're doing that, but you ain't even stopped to even think about where you want it to be, right?
Mm.
I started to like see it before I see
So
it,
kind of
right?
like visualizing seeing.
Yeah, and it's like
Yeah,
the same as manifestation, of course. Like everybody said different. The Bible said one way, James Allen and them said another way. I'm gonna say it the way I say it in my workbook, but you're literally like visualizing and manifesting these things, but you have to think about the end goal first. And I knew the end goal was, like I told you before, everything that I had, I didn't want anybody to be able to take it from me.
right.
That was at the time, that was the only end goal.
Mm.
So all of the steps were steps that I took to ensure that that would be possible for me and my son.
Wow. So you mentioned school.
Yeah.
Where did you go?
So for undergrad, I actually went to Patton.
Okay.
I had to do what I had to do. I've always wanted to go away to school. Didn't go away. I had Jaden, so I ended up going to Patton. So my undergrad is in organizational management, which is like a play on business and human resources at the same time. And then my master's I obtained here in Houston with Texas Women's University.
There you go. Now, I don't know why you said Patton like you did what you had to do. Like, I just
Because
got my bachelor's.
I didn't want to
You
go
know.
there. Like I really wanted to like move away. I mean, a degree, long as the college is accredited at the time that you go there, like a degree is a
Yeah,
degree.
yeah.
But
Absolutely.
I wanted like the whole experience, but my experience was working 2 jobs, going to school, and being a single mom. So that's not necessarily, the path that I would have imagined for myself back then, pre everything that happened. But that's where I was at. So
No, but I see it as you turning it around, because think about everything that you went through. The fact that you had school on your mind, the fact that you have, I'm gonna do whatever it takes to survive, because who knows how you would have been after that situation. You might
yeah,
not have the desire to go to school. You might have had the desire just to stay with mom, or treat your kid a different way, or not even be with you at all. So the fact that you went to school, completed, and you went to go get your master's.
yeah.
I mean,
I tried to give Jaden to my mama. I did, but
okay.
she was like, "This is your kid." No, I'm just playing. But but yeah, no, it was like, I guess it was one of those situations where if no one else is going to give him what I feel that he deserves in this life, I got to figure that out. So even though it was me saying like nobody should be able to take something from me,
Mm-hmm.
it was me saying that for my son too, because everything that I'm doing, I'm giving to him as well.
Right.
And I don't want anybody to be able to take from him what I've worked hard for. So
Absolutely.
yeah.
Absolutely. So talking about working hard, and if you guys haven't yet, I've seen a few people share. Go ahead and keep sharing, because I'm talking to Jessica Bassett, and so far it's been a powerful story. I mean, people are just lighting up the comment section. And yes, Ash, that was at Wings of Love, 2003. That's where I was. That's where I met all y'all. So 2003 Youth Night, a long time ago. I used to come because my first job was Toys R Us, so I used to in Dublin. So I used to get on board afterwards and come straight over to go to, what was it? I think it was Tuesday night service. I don't know if y'all called it TNT or
It
I
was
don't know
like,
what it
I don't
was.
know, was it Club Genesis? I don't know. Maybe Sister Mia could put
Yeah,
it in.
yeah,
But she had her thing going on with the youth back then.
yeah, absolutely. All you guys was there. You, Ashley, Precious, Pat, Miguel. I mean, all the whole crew, man. I'm like all
Yeah.
reminisce on that. But yeah, all right. So you went to school, you got your master's. Now let's talk about this entrepreneurship, right? Because obviously you picked up the pieces pretty well, and you said you made $25,000 in a month.
We're going
I take it because you wasn't. I take it because you wasn't slinging rocks. So let's hear about. So let's hear about what did you? How'd you get there? Let's hear that story.
Okay, so just to go back just a little bit,
Okay.
my work ethic was propelled from everything else, right? So I was working. Remember, I don't like to work for nobody else, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's not my thing, but I had to pay the bills. So literally, I was getting up at I think maybe like 3:45, 4 o'clock in the morning. I was driving to the airport, right, which is on the backside of San Francisco, to work for Virgin America. Then I would get now at this time, like Jaden would have to go to my mom's house because I was trying to juggle, right? You know, California is not as expensive, was not as expensive back then as it is now. Still
absolutely
a lot,
not.
right? So I was working at the airport. I would get off at the airport, drive back home, sleep for maybe an hour and a half. Then my job at the Marriott, right? Because everything you do should be beneficial to you, right? So I had free flights, I had discounted rooms. The goal was to travel, right? I was too busy to travel, but that was the goal. So I would go home, go to sleep for an hour and a half, and then I would go drive to the BART, park at the BART, then catch the BART to downtown San Francisco because the hotel was on the front side of San Francisco with no parking.
Okay. All right. For all my people who don't know what BART is, it's the Bay Area Rapid Transit. Right. It's the train. You know what I'm saying? So for all my Illinois folks. Yeah. All right, go ahead. My bad.
So,
go ahead.
Okay. So I would get to work, do like a 1 to 10 or a 2 to 11, catch the BART back home, lay down for a couple hours, and be back up at 4 o'clock to do it every day, right?
Man.
So my work ethic was, I gotta make this happen, right? So when I moved here to Houston, I transferred the Marriott down because I said, well, I have to have a job when I move down, even though I don't want to work, but I gotta have a job. Transferred the job down. It didn't pay enough. Ended up working for the state for a couple years. Set that up really nice as far as like having the same off days as Jaden school and hours and after school care. And that's a whole nother process. So if they're single moms who need to learn how to figure out how to make everything work, I can help you do that because literally it just makes sense in my head. But anyway, so I work for them and then I'm like, this is stressing me out. Again, I lasted 2 years. Like, that's it.
Like clockwork, so, 2 years again.
Like clockwork. I never worked anywhere more than 2 years. Like, see, Terry, like all over the place. Like I was doing all kind of stuff. 2 years, right? So I take a leave, right? Because I'm like, I'm stressed out. I'm working for the state, helping people get food stamps and TANF and all that. Let me tell you something. Those people, no, let me change that. That's not right to say. The people that apply, some of them apply to the benefits can drain you, right? So it was just too much. So I took a leave and I went and saw a therapist because I was like, look, I don't know if it's me or if it's this job, but it's too much. And in the meantime, I'm like going through like this battle with like depression and all this kind of stuff, which is a whole nother conversation. And I said, I can't work for nobody else. I can't do it. Like I literally have to figure out how to only work for myself. And again, it goes back to me envisioning that I don't want nobody to be able to take nothing from me. But now the goal started to become more specific. I want to live in this neighborhood. I want to make this amount of money. I want to do that. Okay, well, that's the end goal. But how do I get there? I can't make $25,000 in 1 month working for the state of Texas. They was paying me like maybe $2,500 in a month. I can't do that working for somebody else. I have to be able to charge what I want to charge. And make it happen. So I went to grad school and I got my degree or my master's in business administration. And it was ironic because our capstone project, we were building or creating a company, a staffing agency, which was a working company. It's a capstone project. And so it was a medical staffing agency. And when I got out of school, I ended up working for a staffing agency. And I'm like, this is what I like to do. Like, I figured the recruiters that recruited me for these jobs or did my interviews, they didn't listen to what I was saying I wanted in the job. And that's why it's not working. Because if they would have listened to me, they would have just said, hey, this is not a good fit. I know I can do the job, but that doesn't mean it's the right job for me. So I said, okay. So I'm working for the staffing agency and then realized, they say you have too much experience because you have a degree. They say you don't have enough experience because you don't have the work history, but you have the degree. The way we have college and all of that stuff set up in America is insane. So I just jumped and literally said, I'm going to just start my own. That way I can do it how I want to do it. And then I know what it's worth, what I'm doing every day. So to kind of speed that along, the way I made the $25,000 was first visualizing what it was that I wanted to do. I told myself that I want to make this amount of money. And so you're putting it out there in the universe, right? And it's the same thing of just saying, like, you have to claim it and, all of these things. You have to manifest it, what you say out of your mouth, then so it shall be, all of these things. And it's an exercise in my workbook, so I really don't want to
don't get too much.
But literally, I followed the exercise.
Okay.
And I literally did it but this exercise I did every day because I said it's going to have to manifest. And I literally can go get a journal where I did this exercise every day. And it was a matter of months because I literally was saying these words and things were shifting around me that was pulling it closer to me. But like they say in the Bible, faith without works is dead. I was working. Like I was literally putting in the work as well. But everything I was doing was putting me closer. Like I noticed I would say something to my friend and he would say something about it. And next thing you know, I would meet somebody like at Target or something talking about the same thing. Like literally it was me manifesting it. But you don't just manifest it because you just think about it one day. Like it doesn't work like that. Like you actually have to put in the work for it to happen. So that's why you have to know your end goal and then break down the steps. But when you break the steps down into smaller steps, it becomes more obtainable and you can see yourself accomplishing it, that goal or whatever. I don't know if that answered your question, but I was trying
to answer a lot of people's questions. I think that's a lot of people's questions.
It's in the workbook. Get the workbook.
Yeah. And speaking of workbook, all right. So she just kind of gave you a little tidbit about what's in her book because you did it yourself. Is that fair to say?
Yeah.
So you did it before you wrote the book, so she know it works. Okay. And I love what you just said, that you can't just think it or say it and not put any work behind it, because what are you doing? You know what I mean? If somebody, I listened to this dude called Ken Coleman, and what he tries to do is a podcast just trying to pull out people's dreams by what they love to do. But his first thing is he tries to pull out of them to know, what do you love to do? Because a lot of people really don't know, like you're saying, they don't really see that end goal, or they can't really visualize, what they see themselves doing. So it's hard for them to begin the steps to do anything, right? Because some people say, oh, I just like people, or I want to talk to people. Well, that's too general. Like, what are you really trying to do? And what actions are you going to take? And then when that comes to you, I mean, how much work are you really willing to put into it, right?
Yeah, I think the most difficult part is, how do you figure out what it is so how do you figure out if it's your passion or if it's your purpose, right? Because those two things are not synonymous, right? You could love to do something, but that does not mean that that's your purpose here on earth. The reason why God placed you.
Yeah, right? Definitely.
Luckily for me, my passion and my purpose work hand in hand, right? But it gets really tricky because I have Precious is texting me, and I guess part of me identifying what my purpose is. At the time, I was working for a staffing agency, and I reached out to this gentleman, for him to be a client. I was reaching out to him and I said, hey, this is what we do. And for those of you who don't know what staffing is, it's third party recruiting for an agency. However, the person that you hire is on your payroll, and then they transfer to the organization. They buy them from you after a certain period, right? And I was really good at it. Like I would literally go into these meetings and say, oh, I'm gonna upcharge you 30%. That's what it is. But I can have the conversation about your industry and what you need, because I research and study and all this stuff. So this gentleman I was seeking him for a client. Well, he was with one of the major oil and gas companies, and he literally loses his job.
Mm.
So the next time I hear from him, I think it was like a matter of a couple of weeks. The next time I hear from him, he's like, "Hey, can we do lunch? I no longer work for so and so, but I would like for you to help find me a position." Because, with staffing or executive search or what have you, you're working for the client and you're working for the candidate as well. You're kind of
Right.
working for both people. And so I said, okay. So we went to a very nice restaurant. I mean, like white tablecloth. So, I have to like put on my blazer,
Uh,
talk a certain kind of way, and, do my job. And we go to lunch, and he's like, you should be working for yourself. And this is
mm,
this was like some months before I started the company. It had been a thought, but I didn't
right.
have the urge yet. And he was like, you should be working for yourself because you do better at doing things your way. And
Mm.
literally, this guy is like, I want to help you work for yourself. Now, he fell through as far as investing in my company.
I'm
But
saying I don't know how you invested because you didn't have no job, right? But go
yeah,
ahead.
but that don't mean somebody ain't got no money because
That's
they don't.
true. You're right. You're true.
And he had just got laid off. And when you think about it, when you are C level or executive level,
Right.
you make good money, but you can get a job because the competitor wants you to come work. So if
Absolutely.
somebody lets you go, it may be difficult for a while, but if you talk to enough people, it's your network anyway,
Mm-hmm.
and not necessarily you applying to a job. But that's another podcast in itself. You can literally find a job. So I didn't really worry about him saying he wanted to invest because I thought, well, if he's offering to invest, he must, have it. So I wasn't really worried about it. But his investment fell through. But
Mm-hmm.
what he gave me was priceless because it was somebody who I didn't know, who I literally talked to maybe for like an hour, who saw that my purpose was really for me to go a different direction. And a lot of times you fight with your purpose, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
I know me, I don't necessarily want to put in a lot of effort most of the time. I like to cruise through things, but I know that I'm good at what I do. And his push by just telling me like, hey, this is what you need to be doing. I think I started my company like maybe like 4 or 5 months after that.
Yeah. People over here talking about they want your shirt. What you
Everybody
say?
can have a shirt. So if you go to definemysuccess.com, put in your order for a shirt. It's not this color. I do have 2 colors up there. They'll ship out May the 1st. So yeah, we'll be adding more shirts in the future, but those are the 2 that are there right now.
Okay. All right. So this is what I want to do, right? Because we're wrapping up on time. So what I
Okay.
want you guys to do, all right, this is how you win the workbooks. You ready? I want you guys to put in hashtag 4 steps. All right. Hashtag 4 steps. Okay. Now how I'm gonna do it, and I'm not sure. I haven't, text my teammate yet, but I know she had her daughter had a recital, but she is watching. She'll let me know. But if not, what we're gonna do is we're gonna total up or not total, but we're gonna just randomly select the winner. All right. If you put in hashtag 4 steps, okay, and I am not choosing. All right, Jessica's choosing. I'm not
Oh,
choosing nobody. All right, I ain't choosing nobody because I don't want anyone saying, "Oh, he biased," or "Man, he might know them." Nah.
okay, but how do I choose though? How does
Oh,
that work?
well, you know what? You don't have to do it because she just said, "I'm home now." So
Okay,
what's gonna
perfect.
happen?
Because I can't see
Yeah,
any
yeah.
of the comments.
Right. Oh, yeah, yeah. You can always see what I'm throwing up there.
Mhm.
So the way we're gonna do it is that Alicia has a random wheel, right? And it takes all the people names that she puts it in, and she spins the wheel, and whoever that wheel lands on, that is who wins. Because yeah, I'm not getting in the middle of that. So while people are putting in hashtag 4 steps, what are some parting words for somebody who um are looking to find their niche, looking to find what their purpose to do? Because I really do feel you on, there's a purpose, and then there's something that you're really passionate about, something that you kind of like to do. But how can someone? I'm not going to give you the purpose question because that's like a whole self-evaluating, lifelong process. But
A lot of meditating for
a
that.
lot. So how can someone find their passion and what they're good at? How can they go about doing that?
Um, a quick answer.
Yeah.
Something that brings you joy.
Okay.
I would say something that you wake up in the morning and you actually want to do.
Mm.
Um, or something like, you just always find yourself going back to that.
Mm.
I would say
Absolutely.
your passion.
Yeah.
Um, and I think the first part of the workbook, I think you can use that exercise to help you figure that out. It's like, what do you actually dream about? Like,
Right.
what do you see yourself doing when nothing else is going right? Like, what do you enjoy doing? Now, you may enjoy doing a lot of stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
But what is that one thing you always find yourself coming back to?
Right.
Literally, everybody calls me for the same thing, but I enjoy doing it and I don't charge them for it because it's literally my passion. I'm a fixer. You tell me, hey, I need to do this, and my mind starts to go, hey, I want to X, Y, and Z, and my mind starts to go. That's why I said if you're a single mom and you can't really figure out how to make things work, like if you call me, as soon as you tell me something, my mind is just already going. It's my
Mm.
passion to help other people. So I've figured out a way to take my passion and my purpose and marry the two. I've been fortunate enough for mine to coincide. That's not always the case for
Right.
everybody. But yeah, so I would say that's what it is. I don't know if that makes sense, but
No, it makes sense.
I think your passion is, that thing that gives you joy, that you would just rather do more than anything else.
Absolutely. That makes ultimate sense because you think about it, people drag into work and they don't want to be there for some, and or they're doing something that they feel like they just doing it because they have to pay the bills. But it would be something that you can have a passion for and get paid for, right?
Yeah.
So it's figuring out how to turn that into monetize it. So yeah, I think that's very helpful. All right, y'all. I mean, I need some more hashtag 4 steps because it looked like you
Come
know
on. I mean, I don't know how many people are watching, but I know y'all could put the
it
hashtag.
is a slew of comments. I know you can't see it, but
I hope I can go back and read them.
you can. They
Okay.
they are so they are so just moved by your story that that they are really like feeling like they're really
I
there.
mean, I wish we had more time because I feel like
Absolutely.
I don't I don't know if I shared a lot. Like I feel like I only gave you
Well, here's the thing though.
like a glimpse, maybe.
Yes, here's the thing. I have, Taylor has a podcast too. I don't know, you know, has a podcast too. So, and look, the winner came through already. So sorry if you didn't put in, but it has a podcast too. So if ever you want to come on the podcast and be able to share a little bit more, because that I feel like, we can stretch out the time for sure. So who is that? All right. So I got the winner right here, but definitely we want to just first
Yeah,
and
because
foremost.
I feel like I would need like one topic. You know what I mean? Because I
Yeah,
feel like there's so many topics that we kind of covered that I could probably talk on like
yeah,
one.
it'll definitely be one topic. Or, again, y'all can go hit her up on Clubhouse. But definitely we can have you back podcast form and you can really touch on a specific topic. But if you did touch on one topic, what would it be? It'd be the 4 steps. Would it
Well,
be your book?
I like all. Look, listen, I can talk about all kind of stuff. I can get more in depth with overcoming such a traumatic experience, right? Because my traumatic experience may be different than somebody else's. It could be the 4 steps to defining your success.
Right.
Um, of course, identifying your own kind of successful. It could be being a single mom. It could be being a single woman. I mean, like literally,
It's a lot.
there's a lot.
We're gonna choose one. We're gonna choose one. All right, let me announce this winner. But first, I want to highlight that your sister said
I see
your
it.
nephews want to ride out now. Like, yeah. And so there you go. Like, what? I did not
This
know.
true Oakland, right?
Yeah, I was like, man, where he at? Man, but all right. I gotta announce this winner.
Okay.
And the winner is Miss Bella Rose.
Oh, okay, no. Okay.
There you go, Miss Bella
So she
Rose.
has a choice, but
Okay.
I'm guessing she's probably gonna choose this one. But yeah, so whichever one she wants, we'll get it to her ASAP.
Okay.
Yeah, so yep.
So congratulations. Um, she'll get in contact with you. Again, inbox her, give her your address and everything, give her an encouraging word. Also, here's the thing, y'all. If you did not win, it is not too late because you can go on the website and you
Yes.
can purchase this book. And I think you're having a 15% discount. Is that
Yeah,
what's happening?
so we're doing 15% off right now. I think that takes so they're originally $29.95. So it takes it down enough for you to want to go buy
There
it.
you go. I
So
think Precious had put the price in there too. I think it was like
yeah,
25,
so
46, something like that.
grab it. And then also the shirts are 10% off. And I'm going to leave that up probably until Sunday evening, and then the price will go back to normal. But please, by all means, grab the workbook for someone else. I'm telling. So, can I say one thing real quick?
Yes.
Okay, so the other day I was having a difficult day, right? Because I'm human and I know that people think that literally it's always put together. It is
Right.
not always put together, okay? And I'm here with no family, so that makes it a little bit harder because
Yeah.
if I want and no friend, well, I have some friends here, but if I wanted to go, with my friends or go, tell my mama to make me a peach cobbler or something, or go to dinner with my auntie, go see my nieces and nephews, all that stuff. I can't do none of that, right? So I was having a rough day. I woke up on the wrong side of the bed. Something told me to pick the workbook up and literally read it. Like I read it 2 times and then I said, this is nice. Like if I didn't write this, literally I would pay more than what I'm actually have it listed on the website for. Like the content is literally each part I'm giving you a piece of me. Like I literally wrote it from the standpoint of I wanted to write a book about my testimony, but I was led in a different direction, right, with this workbook. Thank you to Precious for telling me like you actually completed your goal, because the goal was to write a book, and it's a workbook, but it's still a book, and it is. I do have my copyright and everything. Like I've already obtained everything for the book, so it's legit, right? But I read the workbook and I'm like, wow, like you've been through a lot. And then these exercises are really the steps that somebody else, if they would have told me, I would have followed these in order to get where I am. So, I mean, not only do I have Tailored Solutions, which is the executive search, the first business that I started, I have the workbooks now that fall under the Be Your Own Kind of Successful, and then the motivational course, which I am trying to rebrand now. So, now I'm doing the shirt. So it all works together because it all aligns. The executive search and the staff, and you have to have conversations about where you see your life in 5 years, or where do you see yourself going? Do your values align with the organization? All this stuff. So it all kind of comes full circle. But I had to read it myself, and I was like, girl, you wrote this book. This is nice.
Yo, that's crazy. That's nothing like going back and reading what you wrote. Like, I wrote this? Like,
yeah.
man.
Who did this? Okay. This is nice. So
Dope. Well, thank you for coming on. All of us, I'm looking through you. So I can only highlight one comment at a time, but you'll see them all.
Yeah, I'm
and
gonna
you'll
go
probably you'll have a good time reading all these comments. But it just shows how much people appreciated your story, how inspired they have become, encouraged. I mean, there's a slew of people that I know on here that has their own business or that is aspiring to have their own business, and to know that you made it through all that you went through, and here you are standing on the side of your own kind of success, right? Yeah, and now you're here to talk about it, I think, or tell it, right? I ain't gonna say talk about it. It's tell it. It's tell it. All right. I think this will alter someone's life. I think this will change someone's life. And they will start the things that they've been pondering on or thinking about. I think it's time to put some feet to the pavement and get started.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. I
Yeah.
really appreciate you letting me come on. So I'm excited
Oh,
to watch the replay.
yeah, and definitely listen, y'all. I will put this on podcast form, so if you cannot watch it, I will definitely have it on podcast. So you can go to the telepodcast, and then you can listen to it in your car or at work, wherever you go. You can re-listen to it again because I feel like there's a lot of nuggets in here. But again, this is the Women in Business finale. Thank you again to everyone who was on the show, and thank you to my crew, my team, Alicia and Kev, for everything that you've done. It's been a very busy couple of months. Next, we will have Black male educators coming up. So, yeah, I need to stay tuned for that because it's going to be fire. But again, appreciate it. Go ahead to her website. Go ahead, purchase a book. Like you want to say something.
Yes, can I say something real quick?
Yeah.
Um, for those of you who are listening, please remember comparison is the thief of joy. Okay. Do not look at somebody else's end goal and think that
Yeah.
you are not doing enough or you have not yet arrived, because what my end goal is not the same as yours. It's not going to be the same as my best friends. It's not going to be the same as Herbert's. It's not the same as my mama's, my aunties, my sisters. My end goal is totally different. So you really have to sit down with yourself and imagine what you want your life to be, because if it's just being a parent, you didn't already succeeded. You know what I'm saying? If it's going to school, if it's starting a business, if it is becoming a manager at your company, you know, what that you work for, you know, like an organization, whatever it is, do not compare what you're doing to somebody else.
Absolutely.
And then also don't compare to what it looks like on the outside, because as you can see, I look the same, but I have gone through a whole lot of stuff. And so, you know, my journey to where I'm at is just, it wasn't a straight path. It had a lot of like bumps and stuff.
Yeah.
And then,
Y'all.
yeah.
Yeah, it's true. She kept the same face for years. I don't know. She kept the same face. She's still 12, y'all.
I know. I'll be 35 this year, y'all. So my birthday is next month. But yeah, so
oh man,
hopefully that helps. I know it's not the easiest thing to do, not to compare, but literally, if you compare, you're gonna stress yourself out, and then you're gonna always feel like a failure. And I really feel like success is subjective. Like there's no such thing as failure at all. Like, so that's just my take on it. And that is my quote. Okay. So yes.
What's your quote again? Say it again.
Oh, success is subjective. There's no such thing as failure.
Absolutely. The only failure that I know is if you quit. So yeah, that's it. Well, thank you guys again for tuning in. I mean, these comments are rolling. You're gonna have a lot of fun reading these comments. Again, if y'all, no problem. If y'all have not added me as a friend yet, go ahead and do that, because there'll be more shows to come, and people are actually buying. So that my goal is, and we're gonna cut it, but my goal is that every time somebody come on, that they get a new audience, new customers. Because right now I'm reading comments and people are ordering your stuff right now. They're ordering their stuff, right? And so they are getting t-shirts, they're getting books right now because of your story. And they are ready and willing to tear into this workbook that you went back and read yourself, even though you wrote it 2 times. So you know it's something. So people are purchasing it right now. I would just, again, I'm gonna throw this website up there. I would encourage you to go ahead to this website. Go ahead and purchase everything that she has, because I'm sure it's all beneficial. And definitely, if you have not, I'm not as official as Jessica yet, but you can just inbox me. And I can, and you can pre-order your Tell It shirt. All right, either you get gray short sleeve, or you can get your black long sleeve. Okay, I don't have a website yet, but it's coming. So it's my own type of success. Also, go ahead and follow her on IG at 2_ J.Danielle 2_. All right. I thought that was just one big old long underscore. I didn't know. So. All right, y'all. We are out. Enjoy the rest of your week.
Y'all. Have a good evening.
Peace, love, and hair. People are still commenting, y'all.
They
All right.
saying,
You'll see it. All right. There you go. There you go. All right. I'll give you one more. It's all beneficial. Insider. I guess is a. There you go. But it's all. I don't know. I guess it's official. All right. All right. So remember, there is hope in your story. That is Tell It, y'all. Again, congratulations to Bella Rose for winning your free workbook, and hope you definitely enjoy. I'm pretty sure you will enjoy it. That's all we got, y'all. We out of here, and I'll talk to y'all soon. Peace.
All right, good night.